At 1:03:05 a.m. local time, the Middle East was suddenly filled with the roar of fighter jets streaking across the sky at high speed. Military radars in various Gulf states detected hundreds of objects moving toward the operational area, while intelligence reports indicated a large U.S. military fleet was moving in international waters not too far from Iranian territory. On the high seas, a massive aircraft carrier and several escort ships formed a combat alert formation, while surveillance satellites monitored more than 200 fighter jets entering sensitive airspace. The normally calm atmosphere suddenly turned tense, to the point that some radar operators admitted to having to double-check that the dots on their screens were actually fighter jets, not just dust specks on their monitors. There were so many of them that the screens almost looked like a starry sky. Amid rising security tensions in the Middle East, the United States aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford is reportedly leading a military fleet in the region. This nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, part of the United States Navy, is known as one of the largest and most modern warships in the world, capable of carrying dozens of fighter jets and advanced radar systems for extensive air and sea surveillance. The presence of this ship in the conflict-prone region immediately caught the attention of the Iranian government, which then increased its military vigilance and monitored every movement of foreign fleets around the strategic area. Meanwhile, from the other side of the water, the United States Navy's second aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln CVN-78, has also reportedly joined the combat fleet operating in the Middle East. This Nimitz-class aircraft carrier carries a variety of modern fighter aircraft, including the F-35C Lightning II stealth jet and the EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft designed to disable enemy radar and communication systems. The presence of two aircraft carriers in one operational area is a rare strategic move and usually signals increased military readiness by the United States Navy to strengthen deterrence and send a signal of strength to countries perceived as threats in the region. Regional intelligence reports indicate that approximately 200 United States Air Force fighter jets have been relocated to strategic air bases in the Middle East. The fleet consists of stealth fighters, strategic bombers, and aerial refueling tankers, enabling longer-lasting military operations over vast areas. This large deployment of air power is seen as enhancing combat readiness and providing the United States military with the capability to conduct large-scale air operations spanning thousands of kilometers in a short time frame should the regional security situation escalate. In Tehran, the Iranian government reportedly immediately convened an emergency military meeting attended by top military commanders following escalating regional tensions. During the meeting, various preparedness measures were decided, including activating air defense systems in several strategic cities and moving ballistic missile units to undisclosed locations to avoid detection. Iranian military officials asserted that all forces were on high alert and ready to respond to any developments in the security situation. The official statement also emphasized that Iran would defend its sovereignty in the event of an escalation or direct confrontation with the United States military in the region. In the Persian Gulf and the strategic Strait of Hormuz, military activity has reportedly increased sharply as tensions between the United States and Iran escalate. Iranian patrol boats continue to monitor the movements of the American naval fleet operating around key shipping lanes, while military surveillance aircraft and drones have been seen conducting low-altitude patrols to monitor shipping traffic in the waters. The region is one of the world's most important energy arteries, as the majority of global oil shipments pass through this narrow waterway, so any increase in military activity immediately raises concerns about security and the stability of international energy supplies. Military tensions in the Middle East continue to escalate, with reports of increasingly intense military activity in recent days. Several countries in the region have reportedly tightened security at strategic military bases and increased air and sea patrols. Air defense systems have also begun to be activated at several key locations as a precaution against potential surprise attacks. Security analysts believe this heightened preparedness indicates a highly sensitive regional situation where any military movement could quickly trigger a broader escalation of tensions. The deployment of two United States aircraft carriers and hundreds of fighter jets to the Middle East represents one of the largest demonstrations of military force in recent years. This combat formation provides a massive airstrike capability as a single carrier group can launch dozens to hundreds of sorties in a single day of operations. Supported by the latest generation of fighter jets, electronic warfare aircraft, and aerial refueling systems, this force can conduct hundreds of precision strikes against strategic targets in a short time if armed conflict actually occurs. Now the world waits to see what happens next. Is the United States' massive fleet merely conducting a deterrent operation, or is the Middle East truly on the brink of a major conflict? With hundreds of fighter jets, massive aircraft carriers, and troops constantly on the move, the situation in the region is becoming one of the most dangerous hotspots in the world today. Write one paragraph of real and decisive news. As the U.S. fleet continues to move closer to the operational area, military activity in the skies over the Middle East is intensifying. Fighter jets are seen conducting alternating air patrols throughout the night, while aerial refueling aircraft keep the fighters aloft longer. The roar of aircraft engines passing over the Persian Gulf is a sign that a large air force is being prepared for various possible scenarios. At several U.S. military bases in the region, thousands of personnel are reportedly on full alert. Military vehicles, radar systems, and air defense units are being repositioned to strengthen protection of strategic bases. Military commanders are reportedly continuously monitoring the situation through command centers directly connected to aircraft carriers at sea. Meanwhile, Iran is not standing still. Long-range air defense systems have begun to be activated around key military facilities and government centers. Several reports indicate that Iranian defense radars are now continuously monitoring any aircraft entering airspace around the Persian Gulf. Coastal defense units have also reportedly begun preparing anti-ship missile systems to counter potential threats from the sea. The world's attention is now focused on the increasingly tense situation in the Middle East, amid increased military activity and the movement of warships in the strategic region. The presence of aircraft carriers, hundreds of fighter jets, air defense systems, and troops on high alert have placed the region in a highly sensitive position. Analysts assess that any decision made by the parties involved could have a significant impact on regional and global stability. Although various countries and international organizations continue to push for a diplomatic resolution, concerns about the conflict escalating remain, leading to the situation being viewed as one of the most serious potential military crises in recent years.